Hello, gorgeous. Today it's a little different. No tips, no guest, no lesson. Today I want to tell you why am I here and why this channel exists. So who am I? I spend most of my life either working for companies in marketing or reinventing myself, sometimes both at the same time. I have lived in 3 countries, learned 3 languages, worked with teams across Europe, US, Asia, and Israel. I ran marathons, a few baby ultramarathons. I did a few triathlons. I once ran the Boston Marathon with a broken arm back in 2018. I ran to the Grand Canyon at 43. I learned to scuba dive at 44. I learned to surf at 45 and self-published my first book at 45, starting the podcast at 46. And I'm just getting started. The moment that changed everything. A few years ago, when I turned 41, I had a bike accident. But here is the strange part. I saw it coming. A few seconds before it happened, I knew it, I saw it, and that broke me, not physically, but mentally, because it was not the first time. I have always been this way, seeing patterns, recognizing trends before they happen, sensing things before they arrive. And for most of my life, I thought something was wrong with me. I grew up in the communist Romania in the 80s, where everyone had to look the same, sound the same, think the same. And I did not fit. I was too sensitive, I was too curious, I was too restless. So I learned to hide who I was to protect myself. And that fear went so deep into my being that I carried with me for most of my life. But after that accident, in that silence that followed, I asked myself a different question. What if I'm not crazy? What if my brain is actually brilliant? And that question changed everything for me. So here is my journey. I started therapy. I went on solo trips further and further away. I began a deep journey of self-discovery to understand who I really am behind this person who sees what others do not see yet. And somewhere on that journey, I picked up a pen. I wrote the book, first for myself to understand my own story. And then I decided to share it with all of you, with anyone who feels disconnected from who they really are, or worse, does not know who they truly are and wants to go on that journey. My book is called Follow That Whisper, and writing it changed my entire life. Why this channel exists, and so many of you are wondering. Because I truly believe the most powerful stories are not brand stories. They are the human stories, stories of people who lost something and rebuilt themselves, stories of people who heard a quiet voice inside and had the courage to follow it, stories of reinvention, of starting over, of refusing to stay small when maybe someone told you to stay small. This is what this channel is about. What you will find here. Every Thursday, I show up here for you, usually at 5 p.m. Some weeks, it is just me sharing a lesson, maybe a tool, maybe something real from my own life. And other weeks, I bring guests, someone who transformed their life and came out on the other side knowing who they are. People like my first guest, Alina, who left the corporate world to build something of her own. Or people like Marta, my second guest, who stood on a cliff in Portugal and heard a whisper that changed everything for her. And she didn't quit anything. She still kept her full-time job, but added something to it that fulfills her. So real people with real stories, no performance, and just enjoying their own life. What I believe is that in a world obsessed with AI, with algorithms, with automation, the most important transformation is still the human one. I believe self-knowledge is the most underrated skill you can develop. And I believe you do not need permission to reinvent yourself. I believe the people who catch more green lights in life are not luckier than anyone else. They just know themselves better. So if you like what I do here, please subscribe and follow me along. And one more thing before I go. If someone has ever called you crazy, or maybe too much, or maybe too sensitive, or maybe too restless, I'm here to tell you, you are not. You are not too much. You are absolutely amazing the way you are. And those things you feel, they are not your weakness. They are your power. So trust them and believe in yourself. I'm Chris, author of I Love That Whisper, host of Catching More Green Lights in Life podcast, and living proof that reinvention is possible at any age. If this resonates with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Like it and subscribe it. And obviously, I would love to hear your comments. If you feel in the mood to leave me a comment, I would love to hear your comment and I will reply to all of them. I'm glad you are here and see you in the next one.